What's up, guys? What's going on? It's your boy C Green here, coming to you live from Shady Sports Fantasy Reports on the way to early episodes. Episode 2, Season 3. 3? Today it's just me. Shawnee had to go take care of some stuff in his life, getting himself better, so I figured I'd try to hold it down. Normally he's the one that keeps the ship going, so it won't be the same information, but hopefully some good information. Without further ado, I'll go ahead. I'll get right into the intro and we'll get it going. Thanks for watching. Yes, sir. Let's go. Shady Sports Fantasy Reports, Season 3, Episode 2. Way too early. I guess, yeah, technically episode 3. Well, we had that special with the draft, so that was good. But yeah, we just figured we'd try to get it rolling before the season started, so when the season's going, we knew what we had everything ready, and we could put it down for you guys, get you the information you deserve, right? So that's why we're out here. And I mean, if you're watching this, you love fantasy football, so this is what we do. We talk fantasy football year round. I know in the League of Legends, those guys don't stop talking football, so this is just how it is. Oh, look, we already got comments. See, this is why we're keeping it going, because you guys are you prepared to watch us. You want to see the show. So he's talking about Bijan. I'll get to that. Also, I did want to throw on though, we do have our sponsors this year. Last week you guys saw the Cash App ad. That's one of our sponsors. We also have Manscaped. Manscaped for you guys out there, and I guess ladies, for your men, you know what I mean. Something Father's Day is coming up, so it's something that's really good. You get 20% off with our code Shady Sports. So if you haven't tried them out, I would say definitely check them out. I'm waiting for my products. They should be here. They're probably in the mail now. I'll get them and start using them. But let me go ahead and get these out of the way. Like I said, brought to you by Cash App, brought to you by Manscaped. We're changing it up this season. We're getting better and growing. So here we go. Let me show you guys this.
Bring them things, I call the plug, bring them things.
That's money. That's cash up.
Forever you and me, right by my side, where you ought to be. Cause if I ever were to lose you, I just don't know what I'd do. Let me hear you now.
Yeah, I had to get that out there because that was a great one that Sam put together. Shout out to Sam, Shady Sports owner, CEO, top dog, or whatever. He does everything around here, holds it down. So he put some great videos together for our promos. Like I said, Manscaped, check it out. 20% off with our code Shady Sports, and then Cash App with our code. I think it's like V16LBN8. V16LBN8, and I'll actually get those across the bottom of the stream. But yeah, thank you guys for watching Shady Sports Fantasy Reports. If you haven't been here before, just talk fantasy football. Like it, love it, gotta have it. So thanks for watching this. You catch us every Tuesday on Shady Sports Network, normally at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we're live. So go ahead and drop your questions. Send me your comments, whatever it may be. If you want to jump on with me, hit me up, let me know. I'll get you on here. Like I said, normally Shawnee's here with me, and he keeps it going with all the facts and hella knowledge. So I'm gonna try to do the best I can. I didn't really have a whole lot planned for the day. Season. We haven't even gotten to training camp. They're about to go into off season. Completing the OTAs and go and get their breaks and everything. But yeah, shout out to 314 Skip to my Lou. Already coming through with a question. Thank you for watching. The rest of you, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, and set those reminders. He asked, Bijan said he's going to be used like CMC. Do I draft him over CMC? and Hall in a full PPR. Man, I don't know. That's a hard one because I mean, I feel like last year definitely. I mean, and that's funny because I was going and looking across the rankings because I was trying to see I was gonna talk about uh being a homer for your team. You know what I mean? Do you draft players just because they play for your team, or how do you go about it? And I follow the Broncos, and I was looking at rankings, and none of their players in the top 10. But looking at that, I mean, every ranking I've seen, they got CMC one, and then Brees Hall second, and then Bijan third. So on Fantasy Pros, that's how they got it: one, two, three. And then where else was I looking? This one I came across the Fantasy Football Calculator. So fantasyfootballcalculator.com. The same thing: CMC, Brees Hall, Bijan Robinson. Let me see. There's another one I was looking at. Where is it? I think it was up here. But either way, yeah, everybody, it seems they have that consensus. CMC, Brees Hall, Bijan Robinson, and you can kind of see it. I mean, I feel like Atlanta is gonna try to air it out a lot more this year. Just because they do have Kirk Cousins, they had the off season last season, and they're really gonna try to get Drake London and what's his name, as tight end going. So I mean, last year having the struggles they had with the passing game, Bijan, he went off, but he was. I mean, later in the season, he wasn't really getting points like that between being hurt or just between not being used. I think it was like one game he wasn't even on the injury report and he didn't play. No one knew. People had him started and didn't know until like right before the game started. Not saying that moving forward it won't be better. And I don't know. I'm no analyst, you know what I mean? I can't predict the future, but I feel like if you have a chance to get CMC, I'm taking CMC over anybody else. And then after that, I'm definitely getting Brees Hall, because he did exactly what you wanted to see out of Bijan, on a team that didn't have great quarterback play. He went out there and, he balled out when he was on the field. So I mean, I guess maybe you look at it like injury wise, maybe Bijan will last, um, play more games than CMC and Hall. But I mean, even if he did last year, he didn't have more points. And I mean, CMC is a consensus number one. You've been seeing over the past few years, people have been trying to put like wide receivers. Justin Jefferson, is number one because they're tired of going with running backs and the running backs get hurt. You know what I mean? Third week. So I mean, they're all great picks. You know what I'm saying? But having a chance to pick one up, I mean, if he's gonna be used like CMC, but I just don't know. I don't know, man. CMC is like the ultimate anchor um for Purdy over there. You know what I mean? He's always gonna be used. He was like throwing the ball some. So I mean, I don't think Bijan's gonna be out there throwing the ball. I don't think. Granted, Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. I don't think they're gonna be trying to put the ball in Bijan's hands like they do with CMC. Like CMC, he goes down and that offense basically stops. Bijan goes down, they're still good over there in Atlanta. So, I don't know, man. I'd probably pick CMC or Brees Hall, given the chance. That's my opinion. Um, but yeah, like I said, everywhere I look, they have one, two, three, CMC, Brees Hall, and then Bijan. And you can't go off rankings. I mean, no one's played it down yet. No one's done even preseason yet. So who knows? But I imagine in your league you're probably drafting like, second or last week of the preseason or the third week of the preseason, you know what I mean? So after you've seen them play, so I just kind of see how they're doing. And then go with that. Because I mean, I feel like in New York, they're still gonna lean on Brees Hall. They're still gonna use him till they can't use him no more, for sure. Granted, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is coming back, and they did get a few receivers. They're still gonna be running the ball a lot more. That's what's carried them, and he proved he can handle the load. So Just how I feel. But speaking on that, it's crazy like to see like I know last week we were talking about the rookies coming in and like the shift and the change in positions, but like even looking at like the running back positions, um, it's just been such a drastic change at like the top five, even the top 10 of the running backs. Just looking here at Fantasy Pros, like I said, it was CMC, Brees Hall, Bijan Robinson, 1, 2, 3. Then you got Jonathan Taylor at number four, who is, I feel like was like consensus number one the past 2 years. Saquon Barkley. Number five, Jamar Gibbs. Kyron Williams, and then Derrick Henry and Travis Etienne and Josh Jacobs rounding out the top 10. Um, that's crazy because it's there were so many names that were in the top four, the top three, the top two for so long, that just completely dropped out, and that's not just the running back position. There's a change all across the board. I mean, second biggest one is the tight end position, where Kelsey dominated for years, and most places have Kelsey at two, from what I'm seeing, but a lot of them have, Laporta and Mark Andrews. They have Andrews above Kelsey, so flipping, and it's like, Kelsey didn't get hurt. He's not going down. I mean, granted, the Chiefs did add, they drafted a receiver. They added Hollywood Brown. Um, Kelsey's still the number one over there. I don't, I don't think Laporta's the number one in Detroit. Um, I'd say Mark Andrews is probably number one A or one B in Baltimore, but that's crazy. Then you see like Trey McBride, and then George Kittle, and then you see Kyle Pitts, which goes back to the whole Bijan things. They're gonna make Kyle Pitts a top five receiver or a top five tight end. Atlanta's gonna make sure they get their money's worth out of him. And Atlanta's good at having a solid receiver. So, I feel like Drake London, they're just going to go off. Their receiving core is about to go off this year, in my opinion. Which just means, they may not be running a whole lot. Granted, they're still going to lean on that running game. But, I mean, you saw Minnesota didn't have a great running back last year. That wasn't their biggest emphasis. Even when they had Dalvin Cook, they let Dalvin Cook go because it wasn't their biggest emphasis. Running wasn't their biggest emphasis because they had Kirk Cousins, who was throwing like, 23 touchdowns by week 8 already. So, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, how you guys doing out there, man? Thank you for watching as always, like I said, today's gonna be a super random show. It's just me, and if you see my hot bandwagon, you know how I am by myself. OTAs finishing up. I think our mandatory minicamp starting now or something like that. You're starting to see, I guess get an idea of who the starters are gonna be. There's still a lot of holdouts, so you kind of seeing where you want to go when you draft. I was looking. Oh, there's this article I was reading on CBS Fantasy Football. Fantasy Football Today. Player outlooks for every fifth round draft pick by consensus PPR ranking. So, they're projecting, first pick of the fifth round to be Christian Kirk, wide receiver. Kirk has an opportunity to run away with the Jaguars wide receiver one role in 2024 after playing second fiddle to Calvin Ridley at times in 2023. Before his injury, Kirk was wide receiver 19 fantasy points per game, and that number should rise with an increase in target share. He'll compete with Bills cast-off Gabe Davis and rookie Brian Thomas for targets, but Kirk is the only receiver. There we go. Kirk is the only receiver of the three with a built-in rapport with quarterback Lawrence. Kirk also occupies the coveted slot role in Doug Peterson's offense. Kirk makes for an excellent target in rounds 5 through 6 of your draft. That's crazy, like, looking around, and, like, by the fifth round, it's going to be a starting wide receiver. I mean, how many people are in this league? What is this, like a 12-person league? Like, there is so much talent, and then there's, like, no talent at the same time. Like, it's there, and then it drops off so drastically. Like, seeing that. So, Christian Kirk, they're projecting to go fifth pick or 5th round, pick 1. Let me see where he's got him. These guys, Fantasy Pros, got him ranked at. They have him in tier 5, number 31 receiver. That's crazy. Like, I don't even want to look at like Denver. So Denver, our top receiver, Cortland Sutton, he's in tier 6, 44th receiver. Such a drop off. Like how many teams have, a plethora of great players, and how many teams, just have decent players. Like, can't identify these players or something. Um, but yeah, I mean, Fantasy Pros, their tiers, it's crazy. Like, so back to the running back, the first 4, that's tier 1. And then tier 2 consists of 5 through 9, and then it just drops off after there. Like, where do you get points at if you're playing in a 10-man, 12-man league? You know, it's gonna be rough this year, guys. I guess it's like that every year. You find them where you can. You know, what's your strategy when you're drafting? Are you trying to, lock in your receivers and your running backs first and then go after a quarterback? Are you trying to find your quarterback early, maybe get a running back before him or something? Or are you just like, I don't, whatever, top player available, that's who I'm taking? You know, that's weird. I don't know. Sorry guys, I'm just, rambling on, but like, it is crazy to see how some people do play fantasy football. Where some people are just like, yeah, I mean, it's just for the fun of it. I'm just gonna pick a team and put players out there and see what happens. I have no control. And then, you have the players that do, hours of research. They follow these people, they know what moves are happening, if they hurt their pinky toe, if they got a hangnail, you know what I mean? Like if they cramped their leg playing tennis last week in the off season, these people are on it, you know. And it's cool to see like the differences, because I feel like I'm somewhere in between. Like I'll look at a little bit of, I'll do some research, but like most of the time I'm like, I feel like this player is good. They're gonna be good. You can kind of see when a player is gonna be good, and they're gonna be consistent. It's kind of, I feel like it's like those ones in the middle rounds, like the Fryer Moose, the Hawkinsons, like the Chris Olaves that once hit, and you're like hoping that they hit again, but they just never quite get there. It's NFL, man. What have you done for me lately? I get dropped off quick. Um, Top receivers though. Looking at this Fantasy Pros, they got CeeDee Lamb 1, which is weird. I was looking, I was like, wait, what? Had to check all these other ones, but I mean, I guess I can see it, with contract year for him, contract year for Dak. He's always up there. He's really turned out solid, like what we wish Jerry Judy would have been. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, they're showing CeeDee Lamb number 1, Tyreek Hill 2, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. That is weird. I don't even understand what this ranking is. Let me look at another one, see what they got for receivers. See, like I'm looking at them. Here we go. They got Justin Jefferson 1, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, then Jamar Chase. So it's like people are kind of all over the place with these receivers. Like any one of these receivers could pop off and be that dude, but they all will like get you consistent points, right? Um, and then I feel like it kind of drops from there. It shows AJ Brown, DJ Moore, Puka, Brandon Ayuk, DJ Samuel, Garrett Wilson, all great players that, you know, most of the time get solid points, but definitely do have a couple of times where they're getting you like 3 or 4 points. Um, which is crazy. Like, just looking at it like this, you really only have like, the first couple of picks that, you really gotta hit, if you're in like a 8, 10, 12 man league, because it drops off so drastically from there that like it's just really the consistency standpoint, right? Um, I don't know, but jumping over here, we'll jump over. Look at the quarterback. So Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, solid tier right there. Which they're all gonna get points. I mean, granted, like Hurts, Jackson, Allen, maybe even Mahomes. You're kind of worried about injury because, like, well, who's my backup? If I got these guys, I'm probably, sitting with Geno Smith or Will Levis, Derek Carr, somebody along that nature for my backup. Um, so you hope they don't get hurt. And then tier two, C.J. Stroud, A.R. Fit, Anthony Richardson, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray. Which case, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, Anthony Richardson, you already know, like probably gonna need a solid backup, because these guys get hurt because they play rough, they play hard. If they do stay in, oh man, you're getting so many points. It's such a hit or miss risk, like I don't know. Like I look at it like when would I take a quarterback? I think when I start seeing people draft in the top quarterbacks, then I kind of rush and I'm like, oh shoot, I probably should get a QB. Because it's slim pickings after like those first 6 or 7 for sure. Like I mean, even like Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, even Joe Burrow, like they get points. When they're good, they're great. You know what I mean? But a lot of times they're not getting those great points. A lot of times they're getting average points. And like it's hard, man. Like all across the board, I feel like this season, as far as what it comes down to, especially like with these past 2 seasons, like last year's rookie class, this rookie class, a lot of these players are going to be playing and starting. So I mean, like you got to try to find like the value on those players that aren't like those big names, because I mean you see like names aren't running the league right now. You know, there's a lot of names that are, you're like, okay, they are gonna get their points for sure. Justin Jefferson's, um, Pat Mahomes, the CMCs, they're gonna get their points for sure. But I mean, like, names that you would have thought, were household names. They're not, they may not be getting as many points consistently. Derrick Henry, I mean, I know he squeaked it out a lot. Last season it was like a lot of late points in games, or a lot of games where he went off in like the first quarter. But, like there's a lot of times where you're like, might be sitting at 6 or 7 points right now, you know. Like Alvin Kamara, like these are people that are still starters, but it's like, well, shoot, like there's something that these professionals, these geniuses, I don't know, these analysts or whatever, are looking at, seeing and saying, there's reason to believe there's going to be drop off for sure, like. So it's hard. I mean, you can't really draft for names so much. Um, But I guess you can't really just draft for like a home run hit every time either. I mean, I'm always trying to get a home run hit. Every player I get, I want player. I wish I could just pick players that got, 20 points plus every game. But that's what I want. I want the players I feel are going to get those points every game. But I mean, I see, like, see a lot of people, they're like, nah, I make sure I get consistent points because you know exactly what you're going to get. And then you can plug and play where you need to, right? I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I would just say, just be weary. Especially like if you're not looking into any of these players and you're just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go off what last season was, because you cannot do that this season. Um, Across the board. I mean, heck, even Justin Jefferson, I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm kind of nervous with him. I just feel like once players get that large contract, they're kind of hurt the next season. It's kind of like the Madden curse. So I don't know. That's just how I feel, like you got to go with your gut, I guess. But I just want to say, like, you can't expect every, the names from even just last season to be the names that hit this season. There's a good number of starter quarterback, new starters coming in. on quarter all across the board. I say maybe not so much, running back. You're not gonna see so much, but I mean, heck, even the Broncos are talking about revamping their running back room. Javonte Williams may not even be on the team. Samaje Perine may not even be on the team next season. I mean, they probably more than likely will, but I mean, shoot, it's gonna depend how the next few weeks go, how training camp goes. It's about winning now, and a lot of these coaches are coming in and they're realizing like, my job's on a leash, I got to get in there and get the players that are going to play. And a lot of them are taking these rookies that just have a bit more energy, a bit more burst to them, regardless of whether they've seen them or not. So, I'd say, it's still a little early to see and to say. I mean, obviously the guys at the top, they're going to be the guys at the top, bar an injury. So we'll see, and we'll watch and see how it goes the next few weeks. But, just be prepared for a lot of changes. Be prepared when you're drafting. Like, oh shoot, like, I got a chance to get this guy. I got a chance to get, I don't even know, Tony Pollard maybe. Just somebody that can, that is going to get you some solid points. They may be in a different position, and just because they're in a different position, people may be overlooking them. Like, or just be wary of someone that you normally would stick with. They might be on a new team, and they might be in a new situation. It may not work out. I don't know. I just say just just watch how these next few weeks play out, and then once actually like training camp ends, then we can actually sit down and be like, okay, well, this is who we're projecting to play. And then obviously preseason comes and we see like, okay, well, these people are ready to go. These people are here, and we're like, all right, cool, like you know um that's where we're gonna go. Unless you're like my dynasty league and you drafted 2 weeks ago and you're just ready here for it. But even still, in that situation, in your dynasty league too, just keep an eye on the waiver wire and like watch those lower players, because there just may be a lot of players that are gonna be getting starting roles or early roles earlier in the season, and a chance to pick up some good points that can kind of take you along play, take you where you need to go, get you through the season, even like positions like kicker, Brandon McManus just got cut. So you're like, shoot, like, what do? If you are in a dynasty and you had him, you got to find a kicker, and it doesn't look like there's that many. But I mean, all across there's multiple teams with kicking battles going on, so you don't even know who's gonna be on the teams for sure. Yeah, we don't know who all the starters are gonna be, except for the top dogs, and that only really comes down to where you're drafting. If you're drafting last, you may not get a lot of those guys, so you may have to look at other places. So I'd say keep an eye on these rookies. Don't be afraid to look at rookies. Don't be afraid to check out second year players. I think Puka was like top 5 in receiving last year as a rookie, as an unknown rookie, so or rookie or second year, whatever he was. But either way, like it's situations like that. It may not be like the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, who is projected to be an impact receiver for sure. And let's see where they have him at. I think he's in like the third tier of receivers. Yeah, they got him at number 12 on Fantasy Pro. So, it may not be like a Marvin Harrison Jr., it may be like a Lad McConkey who, just got put in the right position and went to a pass happy offense. So, we'll keep an eye on it. But with that, like I said, I didn't have a whole lot prep for you guys. But I do thank you guys for watching. Next week I'll try to have a little bit more. It'll probably just be me, unless anybody wants to join me for these next couple of weeks until like July comes around. So I'll try to keep up on it. But then, like I said earlier, we'll ramp up into the season as the season gets closer. Once training camp hits, we'll be on it. We'll try to get you updated with the injury reports. And then as preseason comes, we'll be on it. We'll be here, probably 2 times a week, hoping to get your teams together, and then, just ready for the season as it hits. So, tune in, Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe. Check out ShadySportsNetwork.com. You can not only find us, but you can find some great information about sports in general. I think we're gonna start like basketball, hockey, and some other things in the works. But we also have like indoor arena football, XFL. All your football coverage, year-round football coverage, year-round football games and live sports. So, check it out. Don't forget, I'll be coming back with Mount High Bandwagon. Just really getting it together with that. I wish I would have followed the Nuggets run, but I was just so into the playoffs, man, and just watching it play. I really didn't follow up for stats or anything like that. But I'll try to be better about that. But yeah, we'll just be ramping it up. Continue to send in your questions. Send in your teams if you already have your team going, or if you're getting ready to draft. Send in your strategies. Let us know. Let us know what you want to hear about. Let me know what you want to talk about. We can touch on anything and everything, all fantasy football related here for sure. And then, like I said, if you want to come on and join me, come on and join me. I'm here. We're here. We do this live so that you guys can come on and give us some conversation, get a round table going. So yeah, with that, I don't know. Oh, I didn't touch on kickers. You never touch on kicker rankings. But they got Justin Tucker and Brent Aubrey. Brian Aubrey? What's his name? Brandon Aubrey from Dallas is 1 and 2, which is understandable. Justin Tucker said he's putting on weight, bulking up, getting ready for this new kicking format. So, shoot. You play defense, you might be, defensive players, you might be picking up Justin Tucker getting first tackles, you know what I mean? Like, you might get points from the kickoff and the tackle, so you never even know. But and then Aubrey just, gosh, man, this guy had so many double digit point games last season. It's just hard to count. Like, he had more points than than Dak in some games. Nah, but he had like a bunch, like, dude was getting points. So with that being said, I mean, don't be afraid to look in other areas for points as well. If you don't get those top running backs, if you don't get those top receivers, don't be afraid to look at other aspects of your team to like try to build up those points. Don't be afraid to rotate your defenses. Shawnee, I think he rotated his defense like every week last season. Got to get those points. Don't be afraid to ride that waiver wire. It's not end all be all with your team. You don't just draft and it's just your team. I mean, it's growing, evolving with the season. If you're into it, I mean, I don't know. Like, I pay money to be in these leagues, so I'm sure a lot of you that pay money to be in these leagues. You're doing it with the intent and purpose to win the league. Not just to throw money away. It's just like you go to casino and you play blackjack with the intent to win, although you have really no control of the cards being thrown or the other people around you, how they're betting. You're there with the intent to do your thing. So it's kind of the same with your team too. So you just be prepared to grow it, mold it, and shape it, and in the way you see fit. And points can come from any direction. It looks like this season we'll probably have a few more points coming from tight ends, but and then we'll probably have some points coming from kickers too. A lot of kickers with these new changes. So I don't know. That's all I got. Just want to say, thank you guys for watching again. You catch it on Shady Sports Network. As I said before, don't be afraid to reach out. Shout out to our sponsors, Cash App. Don't forget that if you haven't used it, use it. You get $5 on us. Yeah, I think that's what it is. If you haven't used it, you get like $5-10 or something like that. Code's like B16LBN8, I believe it is. Let me see. I think I have it here in the banner. And then we got Manscaped. Check out Manscaped. They're doing their summer promotion, so you do get 20% off if you use that code Shady Sports Network. So yeah, go check it out. I would play the video game, but I'll let it be. I'll save it for next week. Other than that, I mean, without anything else, thank you guys for watching. It's been real. Always a pleasure. Check out Shady Sports. Feel like we got something on the YouTube channel almost every day, if not all day, most days. So definitely check it out. Get your sports fix, and then feel free to reach out at 303 Bandwagon on X, on Facebook, Cedric Green. Instagram, Facebook, Cedric Green. And you can find me at Shiny. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, guys.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.